Hey guys, this is CALLOUS. As some of you may know, I'm the Advanced OU Gym Leader for the Pokemon Online League, which is why I was asked to narrate this battle, and I am very happy to be able to do that for you guys. This is one hell of a battle. We have two of the best players in the world duking it out in my favorite format, OU Advanced. The first player on the bottom of the screen is going to be Tamaa, who's a Brazilian player. He's been #1 for OU Advanced for the Pokemon Online and the Smogon ladder. He's won multiple tournaments. He is very innovative. He plays his own unique defensive style with a lot of innovations. He likes to put his opponents in difficult, unfavorable positions and make them make bad switches, things like that. Tamaa's a very creative player. His opponent, on the other hand, is from Spain, none other than M-Dragon. Now, if you play Pokemon Online, you know M-Dragon. He doesn't really need an introduction. He's an Elite Four member. He has a resume longer than I could tell you in this video. He's really just as good as it gets. He could throw just about anything at you. He's a very good advanced player, and I'm very much looking forward to what he might bring to the table today. So let's get to the battle. Alright, here we go. M-Dragon leads Zapdos against Starmie and Tamaa. Starmie's gonna have to come back immediately, doesn't want anything to do with Thunderbolt. Here we go, gonna roar it right out. I think that's a good play. M-Dragon at this point is just fishing for information. The roar is going to allow him to scout his opponent's team, which is much more valuable at this high level of play than just randomly Thunderbolting and hoping for the best. A grass Pokemon or a ground Pokemon can come in. It might not do anything at all. It's much better to get information. Ah boy, alright, a third Pokemon revealed already. It's going to be a Raikou. It's going to go for the sub, but it's going to get roared right out. Good prediction from M-Dragon. A fourth Pokemon, Dugtrio, is going to come out, and it's going to force Zapdos out, but Information War definitely favoring M-Dragon right now. M-Dragon's only shown 2 Pokemon against the 4 from Tamaa. Starmie comes out, gets a free Spike Spin. Starmie's going to come in to Rapid Spin them away, but again, M-Dragon all over it, sends out Dusclops, blocks the Rapid Spin, so advantage M-Dragon. Starmie uses Thunder Wave, which is very unconventional. You don't see that every day. I don't think M-Dragon was expecting that. Doesn't hurt too much on Dusclops, but it happens, you know. Like that turn, paralyzed, it might have been important. Surprised Starmie staying in. A lot of Dusclops carry Shadow Ball, not all of them, but a good amount. He missed the first Will-O-Wisp, but he's going to connect on the second one. It's going to force Starmie out. We'll see what he switches to. Gonna go to Dugtrio. Dusclops is going to rest this turn. I'm not sure how I feel about this. If he doesn't have Sleep Talk, he's dead, but if he does have Sleep Talk, this could backfire in a major way. He does have Sleep Talk. What's he going to hit? He finds Will-O-Wisp. Oh! Misses. It's going to be obnoxious for M-Dragon. That was very important. Will-O-Wisp hitting there would have completely made Dugtrio useless, and now Dusclops might die for free. Sleep Talk the second time. He finds rest. He's not going to do anything on the way out. He's just going to go down. That was very important. Now the advantage is definitely for Tamaa, as M-Dragon is now unable to block Rapid Spin. It looks to me, from, you know, what we've seen so far, that his team revolves around spikes. Anyway, here's Porygon 2 getting roared out. We find a 5th Pokemon out of Tamaa, Medicham. We now know all except for 1 Pokemon from Tamaa. Gonna Rock Slide into Zapdos, but M-Dragon's gonna switch to Claydol, gonna completely shrug it off. Starmie's gonna switch to Claydol, see what happens here. M-Dragon all over it. Great switch, great prediction. Puts Zapdos right into Starmie, forces it out. Raikou comes in, takes some Spikes damage, and probably gets roared right away. It does. M-Dragon has been perfect with his roar predictions this game. Starmie comes in, again, doesn't want to stay in for Zapdos, will probably get roared out here too. The Spikes damage is really adding up. Raikou down to 50% already and hasn't taken a single attack. The residual damage really adds up. Raikou already down to 37%. Goes for the Thunderbolt now on Zapdos. Zapdos roars it out after shrugging off the Thunderbolt with a great fault. Porygon 2 takes a little bit of damage. See what he wants to do here. Will that be enough to get M-Dragon out? It will. M-Dragon shows Reggie. Porygon 2 with Thunder Wave. Interesting choice. 2 Pokemon with Thunder Wave. That's a little bit of a theme for Tamaa. And Tamaa reveals his final Pokemon, Jirachi. So there's only 1 Pokemon we've not yet seen, which is something out of M-Dragon. Here comes Zapdos, switching into Jirachi. Interesting choice. Jirachi goes with Wish. He'll probably want to pass that to one of his team members. Goes with Psychic. Ooh, only does 22%, but he gets a lucky special defense drop. That could be very important. Zapdos went with Thunderbolt, but it didn't really matter because Jirachi received his own wish and went back up to 100%. He wishes here too before getting roared away. Porygon gets hit by spikes, but unfortunately Zapdos can't stay in as it will die to Ice Beam, especially with Effect Drop. And the final Pokemon of the game is revealed. Suicune comes out from M-Dragon, Raikou switches in, 24% becomes 80% after Wish and Leftovers, and all of a sudden M-Dragon is forced out. Brings Claydol into Raikou, Tamaa trying to set up Raikou for Calm Mind. I think he's going to have to get out of the way of Earthquake here, even if he has a super effective hidden power. Tamaa agrees, brings Starmie in, 62%. Earthquake, whoa, all of a sudden, 1% Starmie, critical hit. That was a big crit. Ooh, but Zapdos comes in on the double switch, Starmie recovers, negates most of the damage, however, that gave a big amount of tempo back to M-Dragon. He's now going to be able to roar again, get his whole engine going. Raikou comes in, takes spikes damage, gets roared out. Despite being down a Pokemon, I definitely think M-Dragon has the tempo advantage right now. He's got spikes on the field, and he's got a very sturdy wall using Roar over and over again, passing around damage. There's an impending wish, which Jirachi used before getting roared out, keep that in mind. Porygon 2 switches into Raikou, and no, Zapdos not afraid this time, goes with the Thunderbolt. Raikou's going to receive the wish, go back up to virtually full health. Don't think Zapdos is going to want to fight this fight. Takes the Thunderbolt, goes to the Roar, seems like a fine play, Zapdos is very bulky. Dugtrio comes in, that'll almost certainly force Zapdos out, we'll see if he goes to Claydol or Skarmory. Opts to go with Skarmory, makes sense to me, set up another Wear Spike. He also could Whirlwind if he predicts Starmie coming in. We'll see what happens. Starmie does indeed come in, blow away the spike. Who he goes with? Goes to Zapdos. M-Dragon all over the prediction. Another great double switch. Reading his opponent very well. Raikou comes into Zapdos. M-Dragon immediately roars it out, giving something else residual damage. Starmie all the way down to 44% without having taken a single actual attack. Spike damage really adds up. Raikou in again. And Raikou out again. M-Dragon, perfect predictions. Multiple in a row. So good. Here comes Jirachi. Jirachi with the obvious wish. Here's another roar. What's it going to get this time? It's going to get Porygon 2, which in the past has not had Zapdos stay and attack it. It'll either switch or roar. Here's a Thunder Wave. Interesting. He lets his Zapdos get Thunder Wave. In exchange, he roars it out. Jirachi comes in. Jirachi's going to receive his own wish, go back up to 100%. Paralyze on Zapdos isn't a big deal. Most of them have rest and often sleep talk, but again, it could happen at a critical turn. Suicune comes out. Tamaa immediately goes to Raikou. Suicune, very good prediction from M-Dragon, goes with the roar, gets spikes damage again. Jirachi on Coon, see what happens here. Calm Mind from Tamaa, I don't like that play at all. And Calm Mind from Suicune, I really don't like it. If Jirachi tries to set up, he's just going to get roared out. Jirachi goes for Psychic, but it only does 23%, and Coon gets another Calm Mind up. I don't like this line of play, this is not going to end well for Tamaa. He tries again with Psychic, only does 18%. Suicune again gets a Calm Mind. I don't think this is the right play for Tamaa, he's going to get out of there immediately, he agrees. He goes to Raikou, but it might be too little too late. I think he's got a big problem from letting the Suicune set up. That's the fourth Calm Mind out of Suicune. This Thunderbolt isn't going to do nearly enough. He's going to need a crit. He doesn't get it. It's only 20%. Raikou immediately down to the surf. This could be the end of the game right here. I'm not sure what Tamaa can do without some pretty big luck. Dugtrio comes in, takes irrelevant spikes damage. He's going to Earthquake, but it's not going to do the trick. A crit wouldn't have even done it. And Surf takes that out too. I think he's got quite a problem. All of a sudden, M-Dragon up 5-4. Here comes Medicham again at 41%. I don't know that Brick Break will necessarily do the job. Wow, but M-Dragon switches. I don't believe that. I really don't agree with that play. I get that Claydol doesn't take anything from Brick Break, but I think Suicune would have taken out a third member of the team there. Would have made a huge advantage. I really can't agree with that play. I'll ask him about it after. He knows what he's doing, and nobody's perfect. Maybe I'm wrong. Nonetheless, we opted to switch. A couple turns later, we're looking at Porygon against Suicune. Suicune eats the Thunderbolt, and it's actually pretty low. Tamaa switches up to Medicham. Don't know how I feel about that. It gives Suicune a free rest. To me, he must have Focus Punch. That's the only reason that he would make that play. And he does. He goes for Focus Punch. Zapdos is going to switch in, but it's going to hurt quite a bit. Yeah, 74%, despite its resistance and good balls, Medicham hits like a truck. Porygon 2 in, Zapdos probably resting this turn, possibly roaring. No, it's paralyzed at a key time. M-Dragon will probably go to Regice here. I don't see him letting his... Oh, okay. I guess he'd rather let his Zapdos die. I think that was a very, very key mistake for M-Dragon. I don't see any reason to let it eat the Ice Beam there. I think Regice would have been a 100% safe switch, and I don't understand keeping it in there. That was potentially very important. Zapdos was very valuable for M-Dragon. I think that was a big mistake. But anyway, M-Dragon has played all now against Medicham. Medicham got in on a sleeping Suicune. Tamaa tries to get cute, tries to double Focus Punch, predicting the switch, but M-Dragon doesn't allow it by Earthquaking. That was a good read by M-Dragon. Porygon 2 gets in again. This time he's gonna use Trace to copy Levitate, make himself immune to Earthquake. Good little trick that might come in handy throughout the game. Playdoll's gonna be forced out, doesn't want to take an Ice Beam. Suicune's gonna come in. Perfect prediction again by Tamaa. Tamaa thunderbolting into Playdoll. Clearly knew that Suicune was coming in. Very, very well played. See what the players decide to do. They're both staying in. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Thunderbolt is obviously doing a nice number. Suicune's gonna wake up in Calm Mind. This is a precarious situation for both players. Tamaa has resigned himself to this line of play, it seems. He doesn't really have a good switch for this situation. But at the same time, M-Dragon, sitting there trying to defend his stat boost, is absolutely begging for a critical hit. Anytime you sit behind Calm Mind, Curse, what have you, you're absolutely begging for your opponent to get a crit. So we'll see what happens. Porygon 2 only has so many Thunderbolts, especially with pressure ticking away at his TP. I think I'd rather be M-Dragon in the situation, to be honest. You only need, whatever, 2-3 more Calm Minds, maybe 2, or you can just sweep the whole team. Gonna wake up, Calm Mind again. It's getting worse and worse for Tamaa. He's gonna need a crit in the next turn or two, or that's gonna be it. He goes for Thunder Wave, gets the para, but he's still relying on luck. Oh, wow. Gets the crit. Unbelievable. M-Dragon must be very upset. That was huge. I mean, there's no other way to say it. That was a game-changing crit. Tamaa only had maybe 2 more turns at the most to get that crit before he just outright loses the game. And he got it at a very, very critical time. All of a sudden, Tamaa, who I definitely felt was behind after the mishap with Suicune earlier, is now up 4-3, and M-Dragon might have a little problem. He's going back and forth with Porygon 2, but he's not getting very far. Porygon can recover off the damage. Finally, Tamaa decides it's had enough. He switches in Jirachi against Regice. Regice can't do too much. Psychic, testing the water, seeing how much it does. It does a measly 16%, but of course Regice can't do much back either, doing only 17% to Jirachi. They're both bulky pokes that can't really hurt the other, and they both have recovery moves, so this is going to end without luck. Maybe a freeze out of Regice, but even then. Crit Psychic, followed by a crit Thunderbolt, but the important part of the crit wasn't the damage, because of Wish, it was more the paralysis that came with the Thunderbolt. Jirachi being paralyzed could definitely be a problem in the future. Regice takes the opportunity to take a nap, see how Tamaa wants to respond to that. Tamaa goes to Starmie, indicating that he's not afraid of Sleep Talk from Regice, which some of them carry. He made the right read. He doesn't have it. He goes for Rapid Spin and removes the spikes that have been plaguing him this entire time. Turn 76, and Rapid Spin finally goes through. Jirachi back into Regice. That was a nice little sequence for Tamaa. He got to remove the spikes with little to no consequence. Regice wakes up with a bang, gets a crit Thunderbolt, but it doesn't do the trick. Jirachi's still at a healthy 50%, uses Wish. He couldn't die here to anything from Regice, including a crit. Thunderbolt does not crit, does a mere 17%. Ooh, and Jirachi showed his final move. Surprisingly, with Calm Mind, Wish, Psychic, you would think it has Thunderbolt, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, something along those lines, but it actually has Reflect. Not sure how much it'll matter this battle, since M-Dragon doesn't have many physical Pokemon at this point, but its final move is Reflect. Anyhow, M-Dragon gets spikes down, of course the Rapid Spinner, Starmie comes in immediately. Here's Regice. Regice coming into a very favorable matchup against Starmie. You can hurt it with Thunderbolt, there's nothing to fear. Of course, Tamaa Rapid spins away the spike and gets out of there as soon as he can. Starmie versus Starmie yet again. Ooh, catches him with Toxic. Shows a new move. We hadn't seen Toxic up to this point. Starmie does have Natural Cure, so it isn't a huge deal, but that is going to put him on a clock. He's going to Surf, test the waters. There's 44% to Starmie. We can live another one and look at Chris. One layer, spikes down, goes to the Surf again. And M-Dragon with Whirlwind, I agree with that. I think that was a fine play. Porygon 2 is going to be in against Starmie. It's definitely going to scare him off. He can't take a Thunderbolt. Goes to Regice. Tamaa made a double switch. Ooh, but he goes for Starmie. I think, I guess he wasn't predicting Regice. He definitely was trying to just get in a free Rapid Spin. He gets the spin, but it's going to cost him. It's going to be 56% with Thunderbolt. I think Tamaa's going to have to get out of there. He can't take too many. Stays in and recovers, maybe predicting an Ice Beam or a Switch. But he gets nailed by Thunderbolt again. I think Tamaa knows the jig is up and he's going to get out of there. He does. He pulls it back. He goes to Porygon 2. Regice with the Thunderbolt again, which I agree with. You can't let Starmie get anything free. Porygon 2 recovers, and we'll see what M-Dragon wants to do for him. Gets him with a critical hit Ice Beam, 67%, but that's nothing to Porygon 2. Can't just recover away. Here's another Ice Beam, 31%, but Porygon 2 getting the better of the exchange, not taking enough damage for Prismatic. Recover brings him back up to full. Here's the Ice Beam, 30%. Oh, he freezes him! Porygon 2 frozen. That could be a big, big problem if it doesn't thaw. Tamaa stays in for a turn, goes for the thaw, doesn't get it. Regice goes for Thunderbolt, possibly predicting Starmie. Tamaa decides he doesn't want to play that game, goes to Jirachi. Luckily, thanks to Freeze Claws and thanks to Paralysis, Jirachi's not going to be able to get frozen from Ice Beam, so we can sit in on Jirachi pretty much all day. Great double switch from Tamaa. Starmie came in. Starmie came in right with it. That's going to force M-Dragon out. M-Dragon back to Regice. Free recover for Tamaa. Little advantages like that matter quite a bit. Here's Jirachi again, switching into Regice. I think that's a very good matchup for Tamaa. He doesn't have anything to fear from that perspective. Starmie repeatedly switching into Jirachi. I find that very, very curious. Maybe he thinks because of the resistance and because Psychic is his only attacking move, he can take a couple of them to set up Spike. Here's a Whirlwind on the predicted Starmie. I think that's a good play. Gives M-Dragon 3 leftovers, which is Starmie definitely needs right now. Here comes Starmie again, Starmie. And this time it's Spikes, which is a Whirlwind. Pretty predictable Rapid Spin and switch to Regice, I would say. Here's the Regice, and here's the Rapid Spin. Pretty straightforward turn. See what happens here. Probably gonna have to get out of there. Doesn't want to take Thunderbolt. Yeah, here comes Jirachi. Jirachi takes Thunderbolt, doesn't really care. 18%. Irrelevant Reflect, wore off. Played off switches into Jirachi. It's a wish, but I think he's gonna have to get out of there. Psychic's gonna do very, very little to play it off. Resist it, very high special defense. Goes for Earthquake, doesn't do anything. Ooh, he uses the Trace trick again. Traces Levitate, doesn't get hit. Porygon 2, despite being frozen, back up to 100 HP, 100% HP that is. Here's Regice against Porygon. Porygon out, Tamaa just got a free heal on it. That was good. Critical hit Ice Beam, gonna do a nice number, but Jirachi's still plenty healthy. Starmie into Jirachi, that's right, he must have been predicting Wish, which is probably what I would have done too. Turns out to be Psychic instead. Jirachi comes back, Starmie comes in, predictable. M-Dragon misses the Toxic, 85% accurate, a little unfortunate for him. Starmie with the Surf, no reason not to since he wasn't hit by the Toxic. Regice takes a small amount of damage, almost certainly won't matter. Gonna force him out again. Very, very good double switch. Good prediction by M-Dragon. Starmie in. Yeah, Starmie coming in, following Starmie religiously, why wouldn't it? Toxic is gonna hit this time. The probably gonna force M-Dragon out though. Regice in, and there's the surf. Wouldn't surprise me if M-Dragon double switched here. I don't see Starmie staying in and taking toxic damage and Thunderbolt damage. Here's Jirachi. I wonder if M-Dragon went back to Charm. He did. Very, very good on his part. I think he will spike here again. Possibly another Toxic. No, he goes for another Toxic. Gets Starmie again. The prediction of these players is unreal. These guys are just on the next level. They're thinking of everything their opponent could do, and they've both been very, very accurate throughout the game. That's why these guys are really the best in the world at what they do. There's the spikes. And there's Starmie. That part's obvious, but what did M-Dragon do? He goes with Whirlwind. Very important. Gets the Metachamp. Been waiting. He's been trying to set that up this whole time. It was only his second attempt at it. He's at a 1 in 3 shot every time. And he ends up getting the Metachamp that time. That's a very, very big relief, I want to say, for M-Dragon, because that's one very hard-hitting threat that he no longer has to deal with. Anyway, Starmie has somehow managed to work his way all the way back up to 81% health with just leftovers. Hasn't rested or anything, if he even has it. We're now looking at a 3-on-3 situation. We've got Regice, Claydol, and Starmie remaining for M-Dragon against Porygon 2, Jirachi, and Starmie out of Tamaa. Thinking about those Pokemon and thinking about the way that they match up with each other, and about how difficult it is for some of them to do damage against other ones, this very, very well could turn into a PP spell. I think M-Dragon has a minor advantage in the sense of Porygon 2 being frozen. Tamaa's most important Pokemon, it's definitely Jirachi. I don't see anything except for Earthquake out of Claydol that can really do anything to Jirachi, and unfortunately for M-Dragon, lacking Switch, Leech Seed, what have you, he doesn't have any way to heal the Claydol unless it has Rest. So we'll see how this plays out. Jirachi's paralyzed for a second turn in a row. It's a little bit annoying, not a huge deal. M-Dragon looking to take advantage of the opportunity, goes to Claydol. A third paralysis in a row for Jirachi. It's got to be getting on his nerves. He goes back to Porygon 2, going to the Earthquake again. Yep, same thing. Trace Trick gets him, Trace Levitate. Ooh, Psychic. We hadn't seen that yet. Very, very important. It was all a matter of can Claydol actually damage Porygon 2. We now know that it can. Ooh, Specs drop. Porygon 2 could have probably stayed in one more turn to try to thaw out, but with the Specs drop, he definitely can't. It's going to force him out. Here comes Starmie. I like that. That was definitely the right play from Tamaa. Since M-Dragon predicted this and went with Earthquake, Jirachi would have a big problem. Now he goes Jirachi into Claydol. That was pretty ballsy on Tamaa's part, but worked out correctly. M-Dragon did not go for it. No one's got that level prediction. I mean, it's so hard to make that call. I mean, that's how you win at this high level, and it's very, very difficult to do. Starmie, again, as it's been doing throughout the later stages of its game, is going to switch into Jirachi. It's probably going to set up spikes again, unless it wants to get some free lefties. It doesn't really need it at this point. There's Toxic for Starmie. Support that. See what he wants to do with it. Goes to Regice. Kinda has to. And Surf doesn't do it. Might be another double switch out of M-Dragon. He really has to press his advantage. He's gotta do whatever he can. It is a double switch. Goes to Starmie. Takes the Surf, but Starmie's taking some toxic damage. I think M-Dragon will stay in here despite the Surf threat. Here's Porygon 2. Yeah, and there's the spike. He does stay in. Porygon 2 is not only at 31% health, but he's still frozen. Speak of the devil, it thaws and uses Recover at a critical time. About time. He tried a good 4 times to thaw before actually doing it. Nonetheless, M-Dragon does have spikes down, so in theory he can do this for a long, long time if he makes the correct prediction. Calm Mind from Jirachi is interesting. He's forcing Starmie to use Whirlwind, which is interesting. Starmie comes in. I think the jig is up. I think Rapid Spin is going to happen here. I think the spike's going to go away. Goes with Surf. I'm not sure that I agree with that play. I guess he was predicting that he stays in. Goes for Whirlwind, maybe? As it stands, the spikes are still down. Maybe he just doesn't care at this point. Jirachi takes a mere 18% from Thunderbolt. Probably going to Wish up. Starmie and Jirachi, as it's been happening all game. Here's Porygon 2. That's definitely going to scare Starmie away. I would assume he goes to Regice. I don't see any other good play here. It is, in fact, Regice. Thunderbolt does almost nothing, and we're back to this battle. It's a slow, funky one, but it definitely favors Regice. Porygon 2 cannot hurt it, and Regice can eventually crit, freeze, whatever it. They're exchanging Ice Beam, 6% versus 29%, not a fair fight, and of course Regice cannot be frozen. Here's another Ice Beam. Porygon 2 just gonna recover it away, I'm sure. At this point, Tamaa is just stalling for PP. It's ironic that Tamaa would win the PP war because M-Dragon's team includes 3 pressure Pokemon, Zapdos, Dusclops, Suicune, but hey, those Pokemon are fainted, and as it stands, the PP war would go Tamaa's way. Just exchanging attacks and recovers right now. Wasting turns, stalling for a crit, stalling for a freeze, stalling for something. He gets the freeze, another one, wow. That was a very critical freeze. All of a sudden, might have a problem. Thunderbolt takes down to 29%, yeah. See what Tamaa wants to do. Probably goes to Jirachi. No, he's trying to thaw out, he's trying to chance it. Goes down to 5%, this is it. If he stays in and Porygon goes down, this game is going to belong to M-Dragon. Oh, unbelievable, he thaws. Perfect timing, that was the last possible turn. If he didn't thaw right that turn, that was it. M-Dragon's the winner. As it stands, he thaws, he gets paralyzed on the ensuing Thunderbolt, but it doesn't matter because he recovers. And all of a sudden, I think Tamaa wins this game. All of a sudden, I think M-Dragon's out of ammunition. Thunderbolt, Para. That's it. That's the end of the replay. M-Dragon leaves the game. There's a little talk among the players, the spectators, everybody's chatting, but the gist of it, M-Dragon says that he's out of PP and that he can't win the game. He just ran out of ammo. I guess that thaw and that turn really was key. That was a great game. Our winner today is going to be Tamaa. I hope you guys all enjoyed watching it. If you did enjoy the battle, please subscribe to the Pokemon Online YouTube channel. And I want to thank everybody for watching.